My name is Sivarak Sivamoksatham. I'm from Ministry of Science and Technology, Thailand. I work as a R&D manager in wireless communication technology. I would like to learn some, update some technology about how to build ICT infrastructure, especially in rural area. Because in my work, I do development in the rural area. It's one of area of my research activity. I used to develop and deploy high-speed wireless network in the rural part of Thailand. So this I want to update the technology. I want to see what is done in Japan. So that is one of my goals. I want to learn new things and bring the knowledge and experience and case study that I learned from here, implement back in Thailand. Especially what I learned the most from this is about the 4G and LTE. I think the instructor emphasized many times the importance of high-speed 4G network to bring the internet to the rural. So that's kind of make me aware. Okay, rural people also need high-speed internet. In Thailand, I think like many other countries in the rural part, rural people don't get enough treatment for their quality of living. I think ICT can help improve economy in many ways. Okay? We can improve the e-commerce, internet. And in the city, we have a lot of problem with the traffic jams. So I think instead of going to the store, we can do e-commerce. A lot of internet, like internet banking, internet purchase, internet. We can do things over the internet, but without having to commute in the traffic jam in the city. Very bad. Okay, and also we can use the internet as to extend the civilization or quality of living to the rural area, especially e-learning. Because we have the problem of e-learning and also the health system. We have problem with the not sufficient quality teacher and doctors. I think that will help improve the quality of education, the quality of living of people. I mean health. We can do telemedicine. We can do distance learning. More than excellent. That is it. Very helpful. JICA is very. I'm very grateful about receiving the help, the training from them. Very nice, very kind, and anything that I can do to help in the future, any cooperation. So please do not hesitate to contact me. If I can help JICA or ITU Japan in any way. So please.
I'm Zialuin from Myanmar. So my organization is MPT, Myanmar Post and Telecom, and the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology Department. Now I'm working in the Information Technology Department. My responsibility is to serve servers, internet server, web servers, and something like that. Because I joined this program very much to promote the development of a rural area in our country. In our country, rural area communication is so bad, and countrywide also. So in the urban area, we can get only data, voice calls, not for data, internet. So that's why it's a problem. And also rural areas, I would like to develop their telecommunications in the rural areas. So I think key of success in rural areas to promote the infrastructures. I think building the infrastructure is very important and is a key. Yes. So without infrastructure, we cannot enhance any services.
What do you think about this training?
This training is very nice, very great. I have a lot of knowledge. We have been last week the rural areas of Japan. Very nice. Yes, the Shizuoka, and right now we are in Tokyo. Not much difference, almost same. Because of ICT infrastructure is very nice and communication is very good. Yes. I'd like to suggest, I think this training is very nice. No need to suggest. It's a very absolutely good. So please invite some of the participants as much as you can to not only our country but also all over the world. Yes. Thank you so much.
My name is Moses. I'm from Samoa. It's in the South Pacific. In case you guys might not know, it's located in halfway between New Zealand and Hawaii, and less than 200,000 population. Okay, in Samoa, we have broadband in the city and some of the villages nearby the city. There's also fiber. We have a submarine cable. We have 2 submarine cables, but the main problem is it's the rural areas in my country. Some of those rural areas don't have ICT coverage at all, and a lot of those people in those rural areas, they sometimes have to travel maybe an hour and a half just to come to town, just to check, email, etc. I guess the outcome I expect when ICT is implemented in the rural areas of my country, I guess it will provide not only jobs, I guess it will provide more opportunities for the people in the rural areas to not only sell their goods, also know what's happening in the outside world. Because I know in a lot of the rural areas in most countries, most people don't have the opportunity to see and know what's happening, like say for example in the city, or what's happening in the outside world. So having ICT in the rural areas is very important. I think this training, when we go back, we have 1 month to come up with an action plan, and if that action plan is okay by JICA, and then I think we have to convince our governments that this action plan that we've come up with will be suitable for the rural areas in each country. Yes, first of all, I would just like to thank you, JICA, for giving me the opportunity to come to Japan. This is my first time in Japan. It's a really good country. It's a really beautiful, nice country, and I've learned a lot, especially the culture. The one thing I've learned in Japan is people are very punctual about time, always on time. In my country, it's different. Like you can be maybe 10 minutes late or 30 minutes late, but here people are very punctual, which is a good thing. I guess I would try and implement that back in my country.
My name is Fahmida Islam. I'm from Bangladesh, and I am working as an assistant programmer in the Ministry of Public Administration. My main job is network management and software development in the Public Administration Computer Center. Because my ministry's main work is human resource development, and not only the infrastructure design. I am here because after going back to my home, my ministry, I will teach them also, the other officials, not only the general peoples. I will give some presentation for our government officials, for their awareness, for their next work, how they work, how should do for this purpose. Not only for enrichment mind, but also the other government officers will be benefited from me.
What do you think about expectation ICT system Japanese companies can provide you?
Japanese companies can provide, but there is a problem, we say, the technology based. All technologies, when we came in the market, we say you have a problem, 50 megahertz and 60 megahertz. If we want to buy some things or we can share, then it will not work in our country. We usually use 220 volt, but here all are 100 volt or 125 volt. That is the main problem of communication. There is a big problem for synchronization. we need extra transformer for transform this. So sometimes we think it will not work. Japan should think about generalize. From JICA and IT Association, we are happy that all of works, and I want to say they should give some more technical visits. Not only the visit, sometimes they give more explanation in it. We see just and came. Sometimes we have not enough time for knowing this. If it is more than the visitor times, explanation time is more, then it will be helpful.
Really, the training is really good, environment is good, friendly. 7 countries are here. And if you add Japan, it's also 8. Because we've seen also all the situations in rural areas of Japan, like what we visited last time, Chizu town. So we have seen how Japan is dealing for rural areas. So we have learned a lot. So you will have a very good information of the experience of different countries. I'm really very interested even on this subject because last time when I visit Panasonic Center, one of the comments I gave them, we have a number of Panasonic products in our country, but there is no any service for maintenance or even if you need spare. So there is no this kinds of cooperation. So I told them if you open some office over there, it will help both Japanese and Ethiopians to cooperate each other on this product because we really like Panasonic products. In our country, it's almost number 1. People will like to select Panasonic products. Yeah, you know, globally, if you increase some percentage of your ICT infrastructure and service, definitely it has impact in your GDP. So even in Japan, according to the lecture we received last time, 10% of Japan GDP economy is from ICT. So you can see how it can even help for developed countries. And when we have this ICT infrastructures for rural areas, definitely those people will contribute to increase the GDP of the country. Yeah, really I'm happy even in the class because IT is one side supporting us, and at the same time also JICA really I'm really glad to say thank you very much because they gave us this option to see the other countries' experience and also to see the situations in the rural area of Japan. So now we've seen the difference. So because we got the chance to see such big informations, I really want to say thank you from the deep of my heart for JICA. And at the same time also for ITU because all the informations, all the programs have been followed by ITU, including this interview. So I really want to say also thank you for the ITU.
Tuvalu consists of 9 islands distributed remotely around 100 to 200 kilometers. The country is vulnerable to disaster, natural disaster, sea level risings, tsunami and hurricanes. Those are the 3 biggest natural disasters we're facing in Tuvalu. Because the highest point in Tuvalu above sea level is only 5 meters. Very not high land, very low. So we are, when the warning about tsunami, all people are shaking. nowhere else to go. We now depending on Fiji. All the information shared from Fiji to my country, and then from my country to outer islands. I mean, in the main island to outer islands. So we want our own disasters prevention support. So we need the network phase to before implementing this disaster prevention. So we really need help from ITU Japan and also JICA support. We don't have the fiber connections. So, and the bandwidth we have is very low. It's only 8 gigs, 8 megabytes per second. So when around 8 to 900 subscribers, internet subscribers, the internet is very slow. So it takes around 10 minutes for search. If you browse the Gmail like that, it takes around 10 minutes to appear on your screen. So it's very difficult. So yes, some islands like that, the demand for network in their country, but the lack of funds and all. Also, some people they do not aware of the importance of internet or network. So I think JICA should be continued support of this kind of training, and also the ITU to to support the country like us, Tuvalu, very poor country.
Ethiopia is located on the Horn of Africa. We have different languages, more than 71 different languages we have, and it's landlocked country. We don't have a port, seaport, and the population of the people is more than 86 million people. You know, as I told you, 85% of the population lives in rural area. So if there is development in Ethiopia, all people who live in rural area should be also benefited from the development. So one way of the development to the rural area is the telecommunication. The telecommunication sector has a big role even to the other sectors, to education, to health and other sectors. So without telecommunication, it's very difficult to achieve the goals in rural area networks. What we try to work is, for instance, if you come to the school, we have SchoolNet program, and government wants us to reach to the rural area through the SchoolNet network. These days, education reaches to the rural area through the television broadcasting system, and similarly we have other big projects like WordaNet. That WordaNet means a network which interconnects the rural area in order to achieve good governance. So we try our best, but after I go back to Ethiopia, I want to have a discussion again with my team and with my ministry office to look up any possibilities. I want to share them, I want to present them. So I want to see if there is another opportunity to speed up the development in rural areas.
Well, many things. First of all, all my colleagues in this course, there are many different situations for rural area, for rural condition, and most of them is similar to some places in Peru. The jungle as Japan, the mountains. As here, I don't see many mountains, but the exercise is where exercise with mountains areas. Also, this kind of training, almost hands-on practice, was very useful to apply all the skills in planning, designing the network, also to present a project, how to make a project. The help as technical information was very important. Also the program that Japan has for help pilot projects to implementing new technologies is very important for us. We're very interested to try to get some pilot projects implementing this technology that we are learning here. Well, first of all, I'm working right now. We are getting information. We have to change our first plan. As first stage, we studied the report, and we understanding that the plan was for a small implementation for rural. But we have to change because of the encouragement of our instructors to say, to think more in a big vision. So we are trying to do that. We have to change, gather more information, and now we are working right now to select very many areas. We don't allow to intervene in the telecommunication market because the government is very open market. So it's quite difficult to intervene. But we have our plan is make a proposal for the new projects, make us our model, demonstrate, show that this is feasible to deploy. They are convenient to the government, make the facilities for example, for LTE technology to deploy as soon as possible. We really appreciate that. It's very useful for us. We are very glad with this course.
The biggest point will be increase of internet users. It is common in the world. So now target is shifting to how to implement internet services. My own purpose is to create leader of the country, top leader of the country. This is my intention. So not only to speak about retail technology, but to speak the role of telecommunication, and for the success of each country, we need great leaders. It depends on the participants, but most of them want to study what is the appropriate technology to be applied in their countries. Their intention will be, but now I'm speaking not only study technology, but as I said, so to become a leader of a country, this is mostly requested.